Hey guys, welcome back. BDC Gare here. We're back with another pack opening, and this is going to be for 2.17. We're going to open 200 challenge packs because with the new update, they very often update what's in the challenge pack, and generally it seems like you guys are interested in these kinds of videos, especially when you're not 100% sure what's in them, and they seem to be usually pretty informative.
Yeah, and I just wanted to point out a couple things actually. We've skipped a few updates from 2.14. We haven't done one, partly because it's time intensive, and partly it takes. I mean, we're not doing this ourselves, but this is clearly a hacked account. It's got exactly 30 million credits, and no other content. Even the original 3 bronze characters you get have been removed,
Just for the aesthetic of it, so none of them show up when you're looking through your collection.
really clean lines and elegant.
Yeah.
So, and if we don't do this, if you're going to ask, because somebody's going to inevitably ask, this is the same guy who sets up the accounts for us when we want to preview the new content before it's been released.
Yeah, and so we're speeding it up a little here just because the raw footage was something like 18 minutes.
Yep.
So that was 2 times speed, and this is 4 times speed, and we're gonna not go any higher than this because we think this is the right speed for you to be able to see each card as it comes by, especially if you know what you're looking for. Maybe a little bit too fast for us to say each one, but that probably wouldn't make for a super interesting video anyways. But it gives us a good opportunity to kind of comment on stuff as it just pops up momentarily, very briefly.
So a couple of things I want to mention is that we've already seen, if you've been paying attention, that Killer Frost Prime, and Bounty Hunter Lobo are now in this pack. We've gotten them already.
Yeah,
And
I think we've got 2 Bounty Hunter Lobos, if I've been paying attention.
Yeah, and so we're going to stop in the middle at 100 just to sort of take stock of what we've got, but ultimately do 200.
Yeah.
And we're not going to do music. We're going to talk over this for, I guess, a couple of reasons.
Yeah, we've done music previously, but, people would actually comment on some of those videos that they like to hear us talk over this kind of stuff. And the one video that they did not comment saying that they would like to hear us talk instead of the music is another reason actually why we're not doing music.
Right.
Because
so I've been a little bit spoiled.
Yeah.
But the last time we did the pack on the 2.14, we had some original music from Postmodern Disco.
Yeah.
And
it was really good. It was like perfect tempo. It was it was a chill song with a good tempo, perfect everything. But anyways, we'll look at what we've got here.
All right, so if you've been paying attention, we're just going to go through them just to show you how many of each we've got. But one thing that's interesting is clearly animated Batman Beyond is we haven't gotten any copies yet. We also have not gotten any copies of Rebirth Raven, nor Static.
Doomsday.
So those are the guys right now that it's looking like are not in it yet, and we'll see at the end.
Yeah.
Green Lantern.
So what it looks like so far, there have been 33
Hawkgirl.
different cards. What's missing is still the grouped packs. Sorry, the group characters. You know, like Injustice 2 Superman, and Injustice 2 Aquaman, all the Suicide Squad guys.
Yeah.
The 3 Red Suns that were challenges.
Martian Manhunter.
And
Martian Manhunter.
we still haven't seen Raven Prime and Regime Hawkgirl.
Mm-hmm.
All the Arkham guys are still, I guess, kept for the Arkham pack.
Mm-hmm.
And the Dawn of
Scorpion.
Justice, Superman, and Wonder Woman. We're not going to
Scorpion.
include Batman that because he was never a challenge.
Sinestro.
Yeah. So there we go. We've got a decent number of copies of some guys. We don't have a
Solomon
ton of
Grundy.
copies of anybody, I don't think.
So,
Solomon
and when you think
Grundy.
about it, I mean, 100 may
Superman.
not be a lot
The
of packs
Flash.
ultimately when we're trying to max out somebody.
But
But that's 15 million credits.
15 million is so many credits. With
Wonder
no
Woman.
credit glitch, that is nigh impossible to just earn in any
Zatanna.
reasonable time frame. I mean, you could totally earn 15 million credits
Zod.
eventually,
So,
but you would never have this many all at once.
so at top, there's 6 copies of Antimatter Sinestro and 6 copies of New 52, who used to be Justice League Wonder Woman, and that's it. So you'd have a hard time even spending 15 million to get where you want to go.
Yeah, but just to finish the point, basically, Postmodern Disco was what I consider the pinnacle of pack opening music.
It's true.
There might be something better, but if there is, I've never heard it. So we got really good response to that one, but if we don't have something good like that again, we'd prefer to talk over it because it's it's a lot easier for us because we know that our voices are definitely here, but
and they're not copyright protected.
But it's work to search out some really good music, some music of that caliber.
Yeah.
And getting a source for something like that would be just more work than it's worth.
And what I've learned over time is that we're not what's considered a high production channel, and that no matter how good we make it, it doesn't really make our audience any happier.
Yeah.
I mean, you know.
In that case, people actually liked it because it was so obviously just really good. But that was because we met Postmodern Disco at a YouTube Space event, and they were smaller than us, which made no sense to us.
Which is surprising and in some ways, for life at least, disappointing.
Yeah, not disappointing for us, but disappointing in general. I guess a little disappointing for us because we lose nothing by other people's success.
Yeah. So we're closing in on how close are we to the end? We've still got, we're about 3/4 way through. We got about 8 million credits left.
Yeah, we're watching this at 2x speed just to savor the flavor a little more, because once we've done the check-in.
Still frustrating is that the challenge pack has so many different characters.
It really does make it difficult to get anything maxed out that you don't already have.
Now, I guess one thing in its favor is that because they've increased the stats of all the characters and they have not increased the battle points that you can get, that the optimum team sometimes is not something that's elite 10, and it might be something maybe around elite 5, where if the stats are high enough, you can still max out your battle points without having to face the really tough fights and the hackers.
Yeah.
Which is, I guess, for the completionist, it's awful, but I think I've had to resign myself a little bit to not be a completionist when we have so many characters that are still, there's no possibility of maxing them out yet, like a couple of the Flashpoint guys, and I believe Blackest Night Superman, where there haven't been enough events so you could get them to even E7.
It's frustrating. It almost makes you want to only play when those are on the line, so you're only working towards the completionist kind of thing, and you don't have to like look at them otherwise.
That's interesting that you say that, because that's a common complaint on the Injustice 2 mobile boards, where people are getting so frustrated with Arena that they're choosing to only play when there's a special character.
Because they almost have to, because you want to maximize your time spent to product, and you don't want to miss out on content, but other than that, there's no real like reason to stay, right?
All right, home stretch, 2 more packs. 1,
Yeah.
2, or I should have said 2-1. Okay.
There we go. Let's see what we got now.
We'll show you one by one, but we've taken a tally. And so if you take into account Elite 10, which requires 11 copies, there are 0 extra cards.
Batman.
There are no extra character cards to sell back. Speaking of selling back, though, we did this afterwards, but selling back all the extra support cards nets only 424,000 credits, which is good enough for 2, almost 3 more packs.
So that's not a lot.
Right.
Green Lantern.
Nothing to write home about.
So important to note is that all the Blackest Night team members are there, so we can see Hawkgirl now.
Green Lantern.
We did get a copy
Hawkgirl.
of
Hawkgirl. Green Lantern.
Rebirth Raven. We got actually 5
Killer
copies.
Frost.
So
Which is funny. 0 to then 5.
Frost.
right. Animated Batman Beyond is still conclusively gone. And I want to point out, even though we didn't get him here, Static has not been removed.
Martian
I'll
Manhunter.
spoiler alert, I
Raven.
opened another 200 packs that I didn't record, and there were 5 copies of Static in that 200.
Yeah, so just that's another kind of lesson, I guess, which is that this
Scorpion.
200 packs isn't like
Scorpion.
anywhere near enough to generate an actual percent
Sinestro.
chance
Right.
of each one.
It's a very small sample size.
Solomon
Yeah,
Grundy.
so this is one of the few cases.
Solomon
Usually it
Grundy.
doesn't go this far off
Superman.
Yep.
that you get 0 in 200, but definitely you shouldn't look at this and go, oh, you got 10 of this one and 5 of this
Flash.
one. Obviously this one's more likely.
Wonder Woman.
And if anybody's afraid of
Wonder Woman.
afraid that Static, who's really
Zatanna.
good, is one of the difficult ones to get.
Zod.
Ultimately, after 400 packs, we got 5 of them. But after 400 packs, we still only had 5 of John Stewart Green Lantern, too. And I don't think they're holding out on John Stewart Green Lantern.
Yeah. Well, I hope not. That would be sad for Jon Stewart.
So it still holds the large groupings that we mentioned that are available in packs are still gone. That's probably to generate interest in the packs when they come back.
Yeah.
Pointing out again that we're still missing Raven Prime and Regime Hawkgirl. And so in the final tally, we had 8 characters that we could get up to Elite 7 because we had 8 copies or more.
Mm-hmm.
And out of those, there were 2 that could be raised up to Elite 10.
So that's not that many.
That's not that many. So it's a really bad strategy if you want to max out or really optimize on your characters. And it's more just the chance to get somebody that you need, but not necessarily somebody that's going to be effective in battles.
Yeah, I'm not really sure who the target demographic is anymore, except for really new players who want any golds, in which case I would argue that the challenge pack is the better place to go just for volume.
Yeah. And there we go.
Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you next time.
Komoda.